Daria, Yuri, Pavel, Anatoly, Anastasia, um, Anna. Yeah, so all of you, hello once again. Now, today I want us to take a look at this topic. And we're going to look at, just one second. We are going to look at 1C. It's talking about Mr. and Mrs. Clark Percy. Now, this is the presentation. So I hope everyone can see it. And today, first of all, we're going to, so while I'll tell you more about the materials, and then when we're done, we're going to have, we're going to try and have a discussion. So, so I want us to take a look at the first one. As you can all see, there, yes, Margarita, I hope you can see me now. Yes, good evening, Vlad. And so, like as I was saying, if you take a look at the first page, what you're going to see is you see there's a picture. It's of clothes, and it's all hanging on a cloth rack. Now, there are some words and phrases to learn from 1C. Now, every piece of every piece of cloth that you wear, we call it cloth. Your cardigan. Now, you have cardigan, you have coat, you have dress, jacket, jeans, jacket, shirt, short, and skirt. Now, these are just some of the clothes that we wear from time to time. Now, I want us to take a look at just a second, the second one, and then we come to suit. You have sweater, you have top, you have tracksuit, trousers, t-shirt, footwear, boot, flip-flops, sandals, shoes, trainers, accessories, belt, cap, hat, leggings, gloves, scarves, tie, and these are all talking about your clothes. You have the word wear. We use it for clothes, jewelries. And when you say jewelry, what is jewelry? For the ladies, you wear your earring, you wear your necklace, that you wear around your neck. Your bracelets, these are all pieces of jewelries. That's what we call them. And now back to wear. We need to talk about, like I said, clothes and your jewelry. And then you have to wear sunglasses. Now, we use carry. If you look at the word carry, it's for bags. We use it for cases. Now, the men, they carry what we call a briefcase, and the women, they carry their handbags, the one that you see all the ladies they carry with them when they're going from place to place. Now we have dress. Now, what is dress? When you see someone that dresses really well, that has good fashion sense, you like the way this person dress, and you say, "Oh, this person, she dresses really well. He dresses really well." That is talking about dress with no object, just to talk about the kind of clothes that people wear to dress very well. That's what it's talking about. Okay, now what we have is, now that's talking about, first of all, the page. We have the suit, the sweater, top, tracksuit. Tracksuit is your sport suit. that you use for maybe you go to the gym, you use it to do some sort of fitness exercise. This is what you use your tracksuit for. Now, I want us to take a look at the next one. You have your footwear, you have boots, flip-flops, sandals, and many more. We're going to go to page 3. Now, on page 3, you have some of the words, which is consider. You have great, greater, the greatest. Great is an adjective. Greater is talking about comparative, sravnivat. And then you have the greatest. The greatest country in the world, the biggest country in the world, and so on and so forth. And then you have successful. You have wall. You have light. Approximately. When I say approximately, it's like trying to calculate or to try to know the amount of something. Expect a baby. You say ajidat uncle. Put feet into the carpet. You have a marriage. Get divorced. Pose as a model. Then you say pose as a model is talking about when you go for some shooting of some professional photos with your photographer, and he tells you to make some certain poses. This is when you use this to say pose as a model. You have pregnant. Pregnant is a woman who is pregnant, heavy with child. You have prepositions of place. In the room, on the left, on the right, next to, in the middle of painting, under the chair, on the floor. All these phrases that you're seeing is talking about prepositions of place. In a vase, a vase is where you put your flowers. You see that small, it looks like a cup, but it's not a cup. But this is where you put your flowers, like your roses and your plants that you put in your rooms. We use a vase to do that. Now, we're going to look at now the next one is talking about page 4. Now, today we're going to talk about one second, present continuous. Now, the present continuous is talking about is made from the present tense of the verb. Okay, you have ing forms and the verb be. It's one of the most common tenses that we use in English. I am working, you're playing, he is talking, she is living, it is eating, we are staying, we're sleeping. All this, if you look at it, work, play, talk, live, eating, stay, sleep, they're all action verbs. And you add ing to it, talking about something that is happening. How do we use it? We use it to talk about activities at the moment of speaking. For example, we are studying English. We are learning. That's a continuous action, something happening right now. Yes, hello, Andre. And then we have activities at the moment of speaking. For example, you say, I am just leaving. I'm just leaving work. I'll be home in an hour. Meaning, in 1 hour, I'll be home. Please be quiet. The children are sleeping. Future plans or arrangements. Now, the first part is to talk about activities at the moment of speaking. I'm just leaving work. I'll be home in an hour. Please be quiet. The children are sleeping. Okay, so before we continue, so what I want to say is I can see a lot of people today, and I want to say so. I thank you all for joining today's lesson. And so we have 58 people. But what I want us to do is, so if you have questions, you can type your questions on the chat, because I'm trying to, in order to, I can't change it to discussion mode. So as the lesson is going on, you try to write out your questions, write as many as you can, and I'll talk about it. If you can all hear me, say yes. You can type in yes. If you can hear what I just said. Very good. Yes, I can see a lot of yes. Perfect. All right. Like I said, future plans or arrangement. Now, we're going to look at the first one. When we say future plans or arrangement, it's talking about what you have decided to do or what you're planning to do with an arrangement, or something that you have made plans to do at a certain period in time. Now, we're going to look at some examples. Mary is going to a new school next term. Going to a new school next term. What are you doing next week? We make, now, if you look at this, is talking about future plans and arrangement. For example, if I say with the verb meet, I'm meeting my friend John tomorrow at 10 a.m. in the morning. I am meeting my friend John at 10 a.m. in the morning. Now, that's talking about an arrangement. It's what we have decided to do, and it has ing. That's why I said we use present continuous to talk about arrangement that has been made. Now, also another way to use present continuous, because there are quite a lot of ways, and we're going to, as the lesson go by, we're going to talk about it. What are you doing next week? When someone asks you, what are you doing next week? And then you tell the person your plan. Now, if I say, I am going to meet my friend John at 10 tomorrow, I am meeting my friend John at 10 a.m. tomorrow. It's the same thing. Still talking about plans, arrangement, future plans and arrangement. It's still the same thing. Now, we're going to look at how to make questions. Now, if you take a look at here, I hope everyone can see the screen. We have present continuous questions, and we use are, is, or are. That is in front of the subject. We're going to look at the first question. Are you listening? When someone say, are you listening? You have you, which is the subject, front, and we usually put are. Are they coming to your party? Are they coming to your party? When is she going home? You have she and we have is. What am I doing here? Also another way. So remember, if you want to make questions with present continuous, am, is, and are, and depending on how you put them, it's usually in front of the subject. Like the first one, are you listening? Are they coming to your party? When is she going home? What about doing here? Now you talk about. Now we go to the negative. Negative in present continuous, and you look at the first one. Now we make negatives usually by putting not. Anytime you see not, okay, for example, I'm not coming today. Uh, I'm not going to the market. That's an example also of continuous with not. Now, for example, I am not doing that. As you can see, it's highlighted in black. You are not listening, or you aren't listening, or you are not listening. They aren't coming to the party, or they are not coming to the party. She isn't going home until Monday, or she's not going home until Monday. Now, we're going to look at some examples. Now, you take a look at the negatives here, the stative verbs. But before we go to stative verbs, so I'm going to repeat the continuous talking about negatives. We make negatives by putting not or not after am, is, or are. Now, when you say, I am not doing that, as you can see here with not, you look at the second, you aren't listening, or you are not listening. They aren't coming to the party, or they are not coming to the party. She isn't going home until Monday, or she is not going home until Monday. Now, I want you to look at the stative verbs. We're going to look at it, and it says, we do not normally use the continuous. Remember, with continuous action, is always with ing. Now, stative verbs, they include verbs of thinking and feelings as well. So we have verbs of thinking and feeling. For example, you have believe, dislike, know, like, love, hate, prefer, realize, recognize, remember, suppose, think, believe, understand, want, wish. And if you look at the verbs of the senses, you have appear, you have look, smell, and taste. We're going to go back to stative verbs. When we say stative verbs, these are verbs that are not action verbs. Now, you have think. Think is just an exception. You can also use it in action, and it can also be in state form. Believe, dislike, know, like, love, hate, prefer, realize, recognize, remember, suppose, think, wish, want, and understand. We can't use them with ing forms. They are state verbs. We're going to go to the next page, and I'm going to show you how these verbs can be put to use. All right, let's go to the next page. Now we have some other ones like agree, belong, disagree, need, own, possess. Now, since we don't use present continuous with them, what do we use? We use the simple. I understand you, not I am understanding you. So it's wrong, as you can see from the sentence here. This cake tastes wonderful. Not this cake is tasting wonderful. So it's also wrong as well. So usually you just say this cake tastes wonderful. Now, remember, I'll repeat myself again. We are not going to use simple. We don't use continuous. Okay, for we only use simple, present simple for verbs in state forms. So we can't use action verbs with we can use state verbs with present continuous because present continuous has ing. Yes, question about with Vladislav. Yes, we're going to have a conversation. Let me try eventually. Towards the end of the lesson, we're going to take some questions and we're going to talk and try to have some chat with some of the students here. And we'll try to make time as much as we can to talk with a lot of people. I hope you hear me, Vladislav, if I answered your question. So you can type in yes. And that is for Lahan Vladislav. Okay. Now, like I said, we use the simple for state verbs. Now, what do we use the present continuous to talk about? Something which is happening before and after a specific time. Now, when we say something happening before at a specific time, I want everyone to take a look at the two sentences. We have 1 and 2. The first two sentences. You have it says at 8 o'clock, we usually having breakfast. At 8 o'clock, we are usually having breakfast. Take a look at the second one. When I get home, the children are doing their homework. But you have before. When you say before and after a specific time, it means an action that is yet to happen. When we say before something happens. For example, we say, before I go to bed, I usually brush my teeth. That's what we use before, as you can see here. Before. Now, something which we think is temporary. Now, for those, if you don't know what temporary is, you look at the two sentences. Say something we think is temporary. The first one is, it says Michael is at university. He's studying he's studying history. I am working in London for the next 2 weeks. Michael is at university. He's studying history. I am working in London for the next 2 weeks. When we say temporary, it means something that is not permanent. It's happening for a certain period of time. We say, like in Russia, I think it's временная. That's what temporary means. And if you look at the sentence here, Michael is at university. It means that He's not going to study forever, so it's just for a certain period of time. I'm working in London for the next 2 weeks. And now, when you say 2 weeks, it's also for a certain period of time. This is going to take place and it's not permanent. So I want you to look at the word temporary. It means something that is not permanent, something that is going to be for just a period of time. Now, we'll go to the next one. Something which is new and contrast with a previous state. The word contrast. In very simple terms, so I would say different. That's what it means. Contrast with the previous state. You look at the first three sentences. We have these days, most people are using email instead of writing letters. Okay? These days, most people are using emails instead of writing letters. So when you talk about your email, you're talking about your mail.ru, your rambler.ru, Gmail, Yahoo Mail. These are just some examples of email. You say writing letters. In the past, a lot of people used to write letters to family and to people that they care about, but now things have changed. Now, when you see the word sort, what does sort means? You look at the sentence. It's what sort of clothes are teenagers wearing nowadays? What sort of music are they listening to? So you look at the two words. You have sort in the two sentences. Sort just means you say type. What type of clothes are teenagers wearing nowadays? What type of clothes? Now, you look at the next one. It says something which is changing, growing, or developing. The children are growing up quickly. The climate is changing rapidly. Your English is improving. We're going to go back to those three sentences. Something which is changing, growing, or developing. What is this talking about? Growing up quickly means very fast. Everything is happening really, if you have your nephews, you have your children, and some family relatives that have children, you see your nephews or your nieces, you say, oh wow, they're growing up really fast. So you say growing up quickly. It's talking about children. Now you look at the next one, you say rapidly. What is rapidly? Now rapidly is talking about something also that is also very quickly, that happens very fast with a lot of speed. That's what it's talking about. Rapidly and quickly is the same thing. If you look at the last one, it says your English is improving. Now, it means your English is getting better. That's what it's talking about. Your English is getting better. And now, the last but not the least, I want you to take a look at this sentence. We have again and again. When we say again and again, what does it mean? We're going to look at the three following sentences. You look at the first one. It's always raining in London. They are always arguing. George is great. He's always laughing. Look at the three sentences. They have something in common. Take a look at it. What do they have in common? Adverb of frequency, which is the word always. Always, something that happens regularly. Pastor Yana. That's what it means. It's always raining in London. They are always arguing. George is great. He's always laughing. Always. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the materials again for those of us who just joined the lesson or those who weren't at the very beginning. So we're going to take it one more time. Just a second. Now, today the topic was about Mr. and Mrs. Clark and Percy. Well, but what we're going to look at is you take a look at the pictures. Now, with the pictures, you see clothes, okay? Different types of clothes and in different colors. That's the most important thing that this is one of the highlights of today's lessons. And you look at some words and phrases from 1C. You have clothes, you have cardigan, you have coats, you have dress, you have jackets, jeans, shirts, shorts, and skirts. And then you come to, oh, 1 second. If you go to page 2, in just a minute. So, and you have a suit, you have your sweater, your top, tracksuit, trousers, t-shirts, footwear. Now, your footwear is still talking about your obuv, your boots, your krasovki. They're all under what we call footwear. When you say footwear, this word footwear, it's talking about what you wear on your leg. Your flip-flop, it's what you, for those of you, I think everyone knows what flip-flop is. It's what you wear in your house, or what you wear around your house. It's your flip-flops. Some people wear them in summer. Now you look at the next one, it's talking about sandals. Now you have your shoes, you have trainers, you have accessories, you have your belt, cap, hat, leggings, gloves, scarf, tie, tights, jewelry, bracelets, earrings, necklace, rings. And if you look at the first word, which is wear, we use wear for clothes and jewelries, and that is to wear a hat, to wear sunglasses, and that's what we use wear to talk about. Like I said, I'm wearing, if someone asks me and say, what am I wearing? I would say, I'm wearing a sweater. This is a sweater I'm wearing. Jewelry, your pieces of jewelry for the ladies, not only for for ladies, even for men as well. Your ring, your earrings, your necklaces, this is all part of jewelries. And you look at the next one is to wear a hat, to wear sunglasses, the one you wear when there's a lot of sun. Then, like I said, we used carry, for bags, cases, to carry something, whatever it is. When you're lifting something up, we use the word carry. Now, we talked about dress. How do you say dress? Dress is referring to when you see someone that has a good sense of fashion, someone who dresses really well. You like their style. Say, oh, I like him. He dresses very well. He has a good he has good fashion sense. That's what we say. So I'm going to write it out here, and you say a good sense of fashion. Or he has good taste in fashion. Now, we're going to look at number 3. And some of the most, the words that you would actually put emphasis on, or you put your attention on. If you look at, you have your wall. Your wall is what you have in your house, where you put your a boy. We call it a wall. Expect a baby. For women who are pregnant and they are waiting for the time when they're going to give birth to their child, we say, I'm expecting my baby. We all know that pregnancy is 9 months. So we say, I'm expecting my baby in 3 months' time, 4 months' time, depending on how long this woman has been pregnant. Now, we're going to go to prepositions of place. You have in the room, on the left, on the right, next to, in the middle of the painting, under the chair, on the floor, in front of, in a vase. So these are just some examples. Now we're going to look at back to the present continuous. You have the be and the ing form of a verb. You have the first one. It says, I'm working. You are playing. He's talking. She's living. It is eating. If you look at all the words, all the verbs, they are all action verbs. Stay. You have sleep. You have eaten. You have live, which with ing becomes living. Talk, play, work. They are all action verbs, and we add ing to talk about an action in continuous form that is happening at the moment when we're speaking. Like I said, the children are sleeping. And one of the things that I want everyone to put attention to, so you remember, you have future plans or arrangements. Now, 1 second. We're going to go to page 5. If you remember, like I said, future plans or arrangements. Mary is going to a new school next term. What are you doing next week? Now, this is talking about the present continuous in future forms or in arrangement. If I say, I'm going to meet my friend tomorrow, John, at 10 a.m., I am meeting my friend John tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's the same thing. Going to meet and meeting. So put it like this, going, 1 second. I'm going to write it. Going to, 1 second. I am going to meet my friend John tomorrow at 10 a.m. I am meeting my friend John at 10 a.m. All right, so what we're going to do is I want you to take a look at which is talking about still the future, still talking about future plans and arrangements. Always remember that. So that present continuous can also be used for such. We can use this in to make plans or future arrangements. Now, I want us to take a look at present continuous questions. Now, how do you make present continuous questions? Just a second. Now, as you can see, we make questions by putting am, is, or are in front of the subject. You look at the first one. When you say, are you listening? Are they coming to your party? When is she going home? What am I doing here? And then you look the subject in this following sentences, which are four, by the way, and you say you, they, she, and I. Always remember this. Am, is, or are in front of the subject. Now we're going to look at the negatives, okay? The present continuous negative. This is talking about by putting not or not after am, is, or are. You look at the first one. I am not doing that. You are not listening, or you are not listening. Now, when you say they're not coming to the party, it's also talking about something that is going to happen because it has already been planned. It has already been decided. Now, and you say, oh, you are not listening to me. For example, when you're talking to your friend, you're talking to someone, it could be someone in your family, and all of a sudden, this person is not hearing what you're saying, not paying attention, and you say, I'm talking to you and you are not listening to me. That is a negative tense. You go to a party and maybe your friend that was supposed to come to this party and it says, oh, where is John? And it says, oh, he's not coming to the party. Where are your friends? Oh, they are not coming to the party. Also a negative. But if you look at this sentence, you have until Monday. She is not going home until Monday. Now, this is also a negative, but it's something that is talking about the future. She is not going home until Monday. So it's a plan, it's an arrangement, but it's also in present continuous. Or she is not going home, or she isn't going home. It's the same thing. And the last but not the least, it's talking about stative verbs. Now, we don't use continuous with stative verbs. They have these are what you call verbs of state forms: believe, dislike, know, like, love, hate, prefer, realize. These are just some of the common ones, but there's a lot of state verbs. These are just the ones that you should look at. You have understand, want. You can't say, I am wanting you, I am understanding you. It is wrong, incorrect. Remember, recognize, suppose. Now, we come to verbs of the senses. When you say verbs of the senses, what is it talking about? You have your eyes, you have your nose, you have your mouth, and your ears. Look, smell, taste. We call them verbs of the senses because we use this our organs to to be able to dictate to know something. Now we're going to look at the next one, and like I said, all those state verbs on this page that we just looked at, They are not in continuous form. You can't use them in continuous form. We use instead with present simple. We use them with present simple. Very important. I understand you, not I am understanding you. This cake tastes wonderful, not this cake is tasting wonderful. With as it's underlined is incorrect. Incorrect. Now, present continuous and also another use of it is when something is happening before and after a specific time. If I say, what do you do at 8 o'clock every day? We're usually having breakfast at this time of the day. Usually means an action that is happening on a regular basis. Pastor. Now, you look at this one. When I get home, the children are doing their homework. Doing their homework. Something which we think is temporary. When we say temporary, not permanent, just something for a certain period of time. Michael is at university. He is studying history. I'm working in London for the next 2 weeks. These are just some example talking about actions that is just for a certain period of time. Then we talked about something which is new and contrast with the previous state. These days, most people are using email. Remember, contrast, we say something that is different. Today, we are using technology. We are using email instead of writing letters. Pismo. What sort of clothes? When you say sort, it means what type of clothes are teenagers wearing nowadays? Who are teenagers? These are young people. People from maybe 12, 13 years old to 18 years old. These are teenagers. What sort of music are they listening to? It means what type of music are they listening to? Something which is changing, growing, or developing. Something which is changing, growing, or developing. You look at the last three, the last but not the least, which is here. The children are growing up rapidly. The climate is changing rapidly. When you say rapidly, it means quickly. Growing up quickly. Your English is improving. Something which happens again and again. So we say it's always raining in London. They are always arguing. George is great. He's always laughing. Remember, something which happens again and again. It's always raining in London. They are always arguing. George is great. He's always laughing. Now, so let me look at the chat. Someone wrote me a question, and this is Koverchuk Olga. Where are you from? Yes, I think everyone is wondering where I'm from. I'm from Nigeria. Nigeria is a country in West Africa. That's where I'm from, Olga. If I answered your question, Olga, you can write yes. That's where I'm from. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can, I would like you guys to write. For some reason, we should be, I don't know why, I can't change the settings so that you all can talk I can't hear you. I can't change it. Um, but I promise that in the next class, I'm going to make sure that you can all join in this webinar so we can talk and hear each other. Today, it's it's not possible. But if you have questions, I want you guys to write the questions in the chat, and let me, so we can be able to communicate and we can talk. So I will try to go through the names and let's see if some people can hear me. We have 45 people. So some people are writing already. So write your questions in, and I'll be here to answer them about what we have talked about today. One second, it should be able to. Okay. Now, someone's question was when always. Present continuous, when, usually. You have present simple. Okay. You have always, you have usually. Now, there's two words that, this is Margarita. Now, Margarita, you have always and usually. These two words are what we call adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency, things that happens on a regular basis. So when you say, I always go to the gym, I usually go to the gym. Or for example, I always watch television at night. I usually watch television at night when I come back from work. It's the same thing. Why? Because it's talking about actions that happens often. And so it doesn't matter if it's yes, someone wrote it's always raining in London. Exactly, because it's something that happens again and again. These are actions. When you also use often, like in Russian, you say обычно, я хожу, like this. Often, it usually rains in London. It's always raining in London. Very good, Margarita. Yes, it's always raining in London, meaning happening again and again. Because the first one, so this is just more like in present simple, we also used to talk about fact, but because it's something that happens all the time. So you can also even say, Margarita, it often rains in London. Also, I hope I've answered your question, Margarita. Anyone else? Does anyone have any question? If you have questions, let's take a look at the first one. There's someone called, just a minute, while I go through the names, and I'll try to find out from some of you if you have some of the questions. Now, there's someone called Anastasievki Andre. So, Andre, if you can hear me, Anastasievki Andre. So, pardon me if I can't pronounce your names. Now, Andre, I would like you to write in the comments if you can. Now, it's talking about clothes. Now, if you look at I want you to look at the page. What is your favorite how do you dress to work? What do you wear to work? Remember we started today talking about clothes. What kind of clothes do you wear to work, Andre? Yes, anyone else? While we have let me try and see if I can still change. I still cannot change the discussions. Know why? So let's see. While we're waiting for so Andre, what I'll tell you is now you wrote I often dress suit, but it depends on occasion. So what you should use, remember, Andre, if you're listening to me, you have now we're going to go back to the presentation. Now we use the verb wear. Okay, Andre, if you're listening, you should look at this. We use wear. So usually I often wear suits. So that's what you for clothes and jewelry. So you say wear. But you said it depends on situation. Okay, that's good. But Andre, what about yes, exactly. So I will try to take from another person. So there's a lot of people today. We have Fedosik Maxime. Maxime, so remember we talked about present continuous and present simple. But what I want you to do, Maxim, if you can hear me, Fedosik Maxim, type yes. If you can hear me. Okay, very good. So, Maxim, what do you wear? No, what are your plans? Do you have any plans after class today, Maxim? Do you have any plans? What are your plans? Yes, so mm I'm seeing someone wrote uh, Sakun Lubov. Number one question, what do you mean by number one? Could you explain? So, Maxime, you should say yes. Uh, going, I am going home. It should be I am. So let me write it here for you. It should be I am going home. So you put am. I am going home. Okay, Maxime, what about your exactly? That's good. I'm going home. So Irina is typing. There's an Irina typing. Yes. So send your question. We have, for example, there's someone called Sakun Lubov, and this person wrote number one, but I don't understand. So is it a question, or could you give more details? Sakun Lubov, I am going home. Yes, Irina, very good. Okay, so we have another person, Tishkina Anastasia. If you can hear me, just type in Yes. So Tishkina Anastasia, I'm gonna home. Anas Avlasevich Angelina, it should be, I'm gonna go home if you're gonna put it that way. It should be, I am, I am gonna go home. Should be this way, like this. I'm gonna go home. Wait, I'm gonna go home. Yes, but you didn't put, there wasn't any verb, so it should be go. I'm gonna go home. So Anastasia, so tell me, Anastasia, what are your plans after the class, or do you have any plans for tomorrow, Anastasia? Do you have any plans? Okay, while Anastasia is typing, we have Tihonovich Olga. Hello, Olga. If you can hear me, type in yes. Tiho- Tihonovich Olga. Pardon me if I can't pronounce your names correctly. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, so like I said, uh, in the next class, I will make sure that we're going to have a live discussion. So where we can see, I hope that you guys' camera will work in the next class. And in the next class, we are going to be able to hear each other. I'm going to go to sleep after class. I'm going to go to work tomorrow. Yes, good. Anastasia, good. And there's Koverchuk Olga, she's typing. Tikhonovich Olga, if you can hear us, could you write yes? Okay. Lebeda Ekaterina, can you hear us? Lahan Vladislav, also, if you can hear, just write something. Yes, Irina is correct. I'm going home is also correct. So Lahan Vladislav. Uh, yes, Ekaterina. So tell me, Ekaterina, what are your plans after classes today? What are your plans? What are your plans? I'm going to cook dinner. Very good, Ekaterina. Good. It's good news. Will I need for next special program? Yes, for you, Olga, what you just do, you don't need, so what you just need to do is the same way that you joined today's class is the same way you are going to join the next class. So it's very important for everybody. Oh, I'm gonna shopping. Okay, Sakun Lubov. So it should be I'm gonna go shopping. If you're going to use, so put it, go. So I'm gonna go shopping. That's what you should do. I am, one second. I am gonna go shopping. Yes, what type of class are you gonna study with us? So that you should be. Everyone seems to be using gonna today. What kind of class are you gonna study with us? This is for you, Kalinskaya Anna. So what kind of class are you gonna study with us? So let's try to take from Santorovich Svetlana. If you can hear us, type yes. One person, one more. Um, Pach, Pachulia Christina. If you can hear us, type yes. And so I would like to ask you guys questions. Melnik Daria, type yes if you can hear me. And Melnik Anatoly. Melnik Daria and Melnik um, Daria. So type in yes if you can hear me. Okay, yes, Anatoly, hello. What I want to ask you is, Anatoly, how do you dress to work? What do you wear to work? Because remember, we talked about different types of clothes. We talked about suits. So I would like you to write in the comment section so I can see your question. How do you dress to work? What do you wear to work? Usually wear to work. You're welcome, Anna. Yes, you're welcome. Happy to help. So we're gonna look at Karpov Nikita. Kavko Maxim. If you can hear me, type yes. Ziapko Irina. If you can hear me, type yes. Okay, Karpov Nikita, what are your plans for tomorrow? Karpov Nikita, what are your plans for tomorrow? Ka, ka, Kalin, Kanapatskaya Alina. If you can hear yes, if you can hear me, just type in yes. Okay, Ziapko Irina, so tell me what are your plans for tonight and tomorrow morning? Yes, Ziapko Irina. So tell me, what are your plans for uh, tonight or tomorrow? Do you have plans? What are your plans? Talking about using the present continuous, your future plans or arrangement. Have you made an arrangement? And yes, Melnik Anatoly, tomorrow I'm going to help my father with his car. Very good, Nikita Karpo, very good. Tomorrow I'm going to help my father with his car. You can also say, tomorrow I'm helping my father with his car. That is for Nikita. You can also say, I am helping my father with his car. Yes, I wear jeans, shoes, t-shirt, and sweater at work. Very good, Anatoly. Very good. Karpov, Nikita, well done. Zayabko, Irina, we haven't heard from you, so I'm waiting for you. Martinkevich Maria, if you can hear me, type yes. Type in yes if you can hear me. So, yes, Martinkevich Maria. What are your plans for tomorrow, Martinkevich? Do you have plans? So, Soleniet Arseni, yes, I see it. Tomorrow I'm going work to the garage. So it should be tomorrow I'm going to work in the garage. Tomorrow I'm going to work in the garage. Or tomorrow I am working in the garage. So I want you to listen, Arseni. Tomorrow I am going to work in the garage. Or tomorrow I am working in the garage. That's how it should be. Now, Martin Kevich Maria, Zapo Irina, I'm still waiting for your answers. And we have Sandarovich Svetlana, Christina Vilchask, Christina Pachulia, or Nedvijenko. George, if you can hear me, I want you to write yes. Martin Kevich Maria, I'm leaving to the countryside. It should be, I'm going away to the countryside. Martin Kevich Maria, I'm leaving to the countryside with my children. Or you could put it, I'm leaving for the countryside with my children. I am going to the countryside with my children. Or I am going away. So it should be like this, Martin Kevich Maria. I am going away with my children. All right. Lektarovich Pavel, Avgustovki Pavel. If you can hear me, put yes. So talk. We'll just have some chats, some questions. Yes, Lektarovich Pavel, Emin, and Avgustovki Pavel. Emin, Lektarovich Pavel, Avgustovki Pavel. The three of you could you write something so I can see? Okay, Avgustovki Pavel. Yes. Hello, Pavel. How are you? So I want you to tell us, Pavel, how do you dress to work? What do you usually wear to work? Don't know why I keep saying dress. What do you usually wear to work, Pavel? Okay, Alexiok Galina, Babenko Daria, if you can hear your names, please type yes. Babenko Daria. Oh, very good. Daria, what are your plans for today after class? Hello, Daria. It's good to hear from you. Babenko Daria. Yes. After class, I'm watching a film. Good. Babenko Daria. Usually I wear casual clothes. So, Pavel, Gustovki Pavel. So you can say, yes, I like the way you just put it. Usually I wear casual clothes. You say such as. jeans. Should be like this. So I'll and your hoodies should be well done, guys. Well done. I like it. Keep the questions coming. So the hoodies should be like this. You say such as instead of like, have such as. This is for you, Pavel. Um, yes. So we'll try to take a few more questions. Dashko Anna, Gurko Ekaterina. So kindly type in yes if you can hear me. Just type in yes so we can take questions from you. Deriogin Igor, Doshechko Vitali. Yes, Dashko Anna. What are your plans for today after class? Yes, Doshechko Vitali. Yes, what are your plans for today after class? Yes, I'm going to drink tea. Oh, very good. Doshechko Vitali. I'm drinking tea also right now. Karpova Nikita. Yes, the question is coming from you. So I'd like to see you. I want to see your question. Now we're gonna look at. Let's try to take a few more. Mm, Melnik Daria, if you can hear me, you put in something. Christina, I don't know if Christina is still here. And now, what type of classes are you gonna study with us? That's coming from Kalinskaya. Um, so that's the question coming from Kalinskaya. Um, Alina. So regarding your questions, I can't use stative verbs with continuous. No, you can't. Karpov Nikita, we can't use stative verbs with continuous because if you look at it, now we don't normally use the continuous with stative verbs because if you look at the present continuous right from the beginning, I want you to pay attention. Karpov Nikita. And one second. The present simple, as you can see, Karpov Nikita is made up of ing. And I want you to look at this sentence. You have work, you have play, talk, live, eat, stay, sleep, and they are all action verbs. That's why they go with ing because it's something that continues, an ongoing process. That's continuous for you. Now, about your stative verbs. Now, we're going to look at it. I want to show you. Now, we don't use because they are verbs that they are not active. They are not active verbs, Nikita. So we can't add thing. We can't use it in continuous. We can only use them in present simple, which is here. For example, if you have understand, it's a stative verb. It's not action. You can't say, I am understanding you. I understand you. This cake tastes wonderful, not this cake is tasting wonderful. So that's regarding your question. We can't use stative verbs with continuous. We use present simple instead with them. Nikita, I hope I answered your question. I'm going to help my children do their homework. I'm going to make dinner after class. Well done for the ladies. So I hope, yes, well done, Nikita. Yeah. So Nikita, remember that with stative verbs, we use present simple, okay? We can't use them with continuous. All right. And any other question? So from you guys, in the next class, if you have any questions from anyone, please don't be shy. Send your questions and I'm going to answer your questions. And I really appreciate all of you today joining in. I am happy. I so thank you all for joining my class today. In the next class, it's going to be better because we are going to have a live discussion where we can ask each other questions and then we can have conversation. That's the idea. So when we learn new materials, we would be able to practice it. So that's what I want us to do in the next class. That way everyone can talk. So um, it's really good that you all joined today. So about the next class, Andre, it's going to be on Wednesday. So Wednesday, the next time. Next class is on Wednesday on at 1 second 7:30 to 8 to the same time to 8:30 around just 7:30 we'll start the next class. So make sure that you remember the most important thing from today's lesson is stative verbs. For those for Nikita asking that question is a very good question. We can't use them with continuous. Stative verbs, as you can see here, are used with present simple. So the most important ones that you can see is like love, hate, prefer, realize, recognize, understand, want, wish. Look at it here. We normally use simple, present simple. So you can see the examples. If you can make a photo of the screen, you try to make a photo of the screen. And what is present continuous? We use it to talk about actions that happen at the time of speaking. We can also use it in future arrangements and future plans. And we can also use present continuous to talk about something that we think is temporary. A very good question also came from 1 second. Someone just a second. It was talking about if we can use yes, just from Margarita, and we can use always with present continuous or with present simple, and it's possible. So I think that will be all for today. And everyone, ladies and gentlemen, be safe. I wish everyone a wonderful evening and see you guys on Wednesday at 7:30. So in the meantime, be safe and have a good evening and Peace to you all. So yes, thank you all. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Artyom. Thank you, Evgeny. Yes, thank you, Maxim. Thank you, Olga, Vladislav, and everyone. Thank you all, to all of you. Thank you. Yes, bye, and see you guys on Wednesday. Bye. Bye to you all.